Something I'm doing with all of my experts in millionaires this week is we're looking out into the future. We are actually 7 days away from Christmas, a couple of weeks from the new year. And I just want to ask one question. And the one question I want to ask Adrian is, what would it take? What would have to happen in 2025 to see Orange County residential real estate collapse 20% or more?
20% or more. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's, I mean, in Orange County, I would buy everything if I could, depending on what happened, right? But let's answer the question, right? Let's look at what are some factors, right? The first thing that did come to my mind was an earthquake, was a major earthquake. That's the first thing, but let's not go there. What I would like,
no, we can go there first. I mean, again, that was something that Beth got to in her discussion of Seattle. I think you were probably old enough to remember, but you were not in the game, I don't think, for what was called the Loma Prieta earthquake in the Bay Area, right? No. It was the Oakland A's and the Giants World Series. That actually hurt the Bay Area for about 6 or 9 months. There were a lot of people. That was a nasty 7.1, huge loss of life. Bay Bridge collapsed. It was nasty. And we did see about a 6 or 9 month window where people are scared and they were like fleeing California. So I do think a nasty SoCal earthquake, maybe that's focused on Orange County, it would cause flight. It's just fearful. It's scary.
Right. Yep. I could see it for sure. Even if it was inland, it's still going to, we're still, even though they say like where we're at is a little protected. I mean, no, you're still going to have major issues, right? It also leaves ocean liner issues too. Is, we don't know, right? We don't know what could happen with the coastline. So that's a whole nother thing. We already have houses like literally right around the corner from here. I don't know if you guys remember seeing it on the news when the house slides. That was one of the big houses that was right here. If we had a huge earthquake, I could see majority of these houses going in the water.
Yeah. So that would definitely cause a fear. I think that's absolutely something that could happen again, once in a lifetime, once every 100 years, natural disaster, a lot of destruction. It would cause anything that basically, when you talk about a 20% crash in a year, it's got to be something that brings on a lot of supply in a very, very short window, or it just crushes demand. So this would be a lot of supply. It would also probably be, Adrian, a lot of supply that was damaged. Right. It needed fix up also, which would significantly lower prices as well.
Right. Now the issue, let's hang on to earthquake real fast. Let's just say that there was an earthquake. Then the next problem that comes after that is insurance. Nobody's going to be able to get insurance in California.
Oh,
I mean, if we had a major earthquake, it's game over God, I wouldn't even know what number to put for years wise on what that would look like, right?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing we would look at if that came. And also a secondary thing to what we're talking about is, let's just say, can I move on to number 2?
Yeah, just do it. 2.
Insurances.
Yeah, that's really, again, we're seeing some of this now in other areas that are like, if you're up in the mountains or hills, you just can't get fire insurance. Right. So, if for some reason we lost all the insurers and we were just left with, I forget what California's plan is, whatever it's called, Cal Ready or whatever it is. Right. Yeah. If you can't insure a home, let's just say it this way. If you can't insure a home, you can't get a loan.
Nope.
Your only option is self-insure and cash.
Yeah.
So if you're only left with cash buyers in California, or again, just Orange County, for whatever reason, it's highlighted as a high risk or whatever, and you're only left with cash buyers, your prices are going to fall.
Most definitely. And or let's just say the insurance companies say, we're not insuring anything, period, moving forward. I mean, we don't know. Right. And so looking at that, we already see it, right? Like what you said, our mountain areas are dead. Because of that. I can't count how many transactions on the residential side we've lost this year because of strictly insurances.
Yeah. And again, no mortgage provider is going to give you hundreds of thousands, or in Orange County's case, millions of dollars, unless they have insurance. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, I like that for number 2. Let me ask you a question, because I've been through some stuff in the Bay Area and I have no experience in Orange County. Zip, zero, nada. So I'm going to talk about the .com crash for a minute because I don't know what Orange County's tech base is like. I know there's sales offices in there because I had some sales reps down there. Shout out JC Jones. He was a great rep down there. But I'm curious if there was a collapse in the stock market. Let's just say, let's say the stock market went down 25%, but tech went down 50%. Is there a concentration of stock market and tech wealth that would be a negative wealth impact on Orange County and would cause people to stop buying, a crush
I
demand?
could see that most definitely. And in Irvine, I mean, Irvine's a huge hub, right?
There you go.
A huge hub. So Irvine, I can see it playing a big role in Irvine, and then circling over. I mean, a lot of the big money guys in Newport, that's
their thing.
That's their thing outside of real estate.
Yeah. So if you had a big collapse, and let's just say 50%, it probably hurts demand first, I would guess.
Yeah, most definitely. Demand, and then.
Yeah. So demand dries up, then inventory builds, and then, oh, by the way, you got to start negotiating if you want to sell. That's kind of how that would play out.
Yep. And then once they realize that they can't sell, then here comes the fire sales.
Right. How bad do you want to leave?
How bad do you want to leave? And then some institution will say, I'm in it for the long haul, and they'll come in and buy everything and hold on to it for 20 years. And could California then be owned by a organization?
Yeah. Or, well, at least Orange County. Yeah. So, the other thing, so I don't know what happens in Orange County. Let's just say, because again, I think Orange County is kind of unique because if you're living in Orange County, you're not anywhere close to minimum wage, right? You're probably 6 figures plus and probably multiple 6 figures if you're in Orange County proper. But let's just pretend for a moment AI significantly disrupts white collar jobs. It hurts doctors. It hurts lawyers. It hurts accountants. It hurts engineers. It hurts computer science. And we see unemployment go to 10%. What happens in Orange County?
I don't see that. I mean, it could. I mean, so I just looked it up. The median household income in Orange County was about $109,000 in 2022. But to afford the median price home, you'll need an annual income of nearly $350,000.
Damn, Orange County's expensive.
Orange County's expensive. So I don't know. I don't think it would. Okay. So if we looked at the high dollar amount areas in Orange County, Newport, Laguna, South County, no, I don't see it playing a role. In North County, I do. I see more Orange, Anaheim. Yes, most definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. I think there's so much money in some of these expensive cities. It'll take a long time.
Yeah, and I'm guessing in some of these areas, to your point, these aren't really quote unquote employees, right? They're probably entrepreneurs and or retired, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter what unemployment is.
Right.
They don't care.
Tech, doctors, right? Yeah. That's a majority of what they're seeing. Now, if we saw unemployment, right, what's that really doing to their business? But there's so much cash. I mean, I don't see it playing a big role.
And you probably don't know this, so I'm just going to ask you to guess it or ballpark it. When you're dealing with folks that own assets in Orange County, let's call it above the median, let's call it 3 million plus. Any wild ass guess how many of those are owned free and clear? They just pay cash and they just don't even bother getting a loan.
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, majority of the guys that I talk to at the gym that own, $4, $5, $6 million houses, they're all paid off.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
I mean, one guy has a loan on his, but he's leveraging $5 million
to buy stuff. Yeah.
Different.
Yeah. He's playing a different game. He's taking cheap money to make big money. I get it.
He's not doing that because he has to.
Yeah. So the next question I want to ask is about lending. You and I have been through it where lending just turned off in the Great Recession. Let's say for some reason, here's one for you. Kind of back to the insurance question. Let's just say that lenders for a minute won't write any loans over $1 million. They're only focused on first-time buyers, entry-level stuff. What happens if nobody writes loans on $1 million? No loan over $1 million.
Oh, we see a 20. Possible. Yeah. And yes. To answer your question, yes, because the median sales price is about $1 million. We're going to cut out the median. The median is close to
Middle.
42% of our
Right.
market. Yes.
So that would just mathematically potentially bring you down. Because again, what you're doing in that example is you're not or you're significantly restricting higher transactions, which yanks the median lower.
And that's all we have, over
Right.
$1 million, right? I mean, anything
Yeah.
between $1 million to 3 million, majority. I mean, I want to say 89% of those are financed, right?
Right.
You know, a lot of those are first-time buyers, right? Or move-up buyers, or buyers that, you know, their family's helping them buy.
Yeah, so it would have to be something extreme. But here's another one for you. This is something that this one actually really impacted Seattle. I think Orange County might be diverse enough where it wouldn't impact it. But let's ask for a minute if Gavin Newsom, the king, adopted some kind of tax strategy. In Seattle, it was on cloud computing and AI and, you know, all of those folks that just made that whole sector flee. Like if Microsoft and Amazon fleed Seattle, it would be destroyed. I don't know that Orange County has that one dominant kind of employer or type of employer that if that was yanked or removed because of regulation, that would destroy the market. Is there kind of a dominant?
No, I mean, we have the Irvine company. I mean, but they're mainly owners. They're not.
Yeah,
That's really the biggest. No, to answer, no, I don't see that. There's no big dominant player in Irvine. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have some big companies, but
yeah.
no.
But it's not like Seattle where Microsoft is anchored there and Amazon is anchored there, and you know, a lot of cloud computing. Like, because again, if you go into Seattle and you start to tax cloud computing as just a wild ass example, you could force those companies to reallocate, right? If you mistreat capital, the capital will flee. You know, so that's just how that works.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that. I think it's too diversified.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't rely on one specific thing.
Yeah, even if you went after the doctors, right? Even if, I mean, it seems like regulation is crazy in the medical profession already. But even if that became more onerous and rigorous, it's not like you're going to be a doctor in Orange County and go up. It's now too crazy. I'm going to go to, you know, somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't see that happening either. I mean, I don't know what that looks like, but I wouldn't. But now there is a lot of medical, you know, just on my block, there are two doctors. So could it?
Yeah,
it could.
Well, do you remember this by chance? How in the Great Recession, that 4 years, how bad was it? Because usually what happens is residential real estate doesn't do 20% in a single year. And again, it's never done that nationally.
Right.
But how bad was Orange County hit in the Great Recession, like peak to trough? Do you remember?
So I don't remember. I was in Inland Empire at the time. I don't remember. I don't remember. From what I know, it was bad. It wasn't like the IE.
Yeah, the IE was destroyed.
Destroyed. I think that, I mean, obviously there was still a lot, right? There was still a lot. I don't know the answer to that question fully.
Yeah, I think Inland Empire is a lot like Fresno. I mean, I remember a house, one of the first houses I bought and sold. So I sold it, so I didn't suffer, but it went from 300 to 75.
300 to 75?
Yeah, it went down 75% or whatever that is.
Holy shit.
It was crazy. Yeah. It was pretty bad in Fresno, so it could certainly happen.
Yeah, I mean, so that that's a lot like the IE. A lot like where Omar's at too, right?
High
San
desert.
Bernardino. San Bernardino, you were able to buy houses for $25,000.
Can't do that today.
Yeah. You know those memes where it was like when you're in your mother's womb and like,
I was too early. Yeah.
Wish I was buying houses instead of being
just
born.
being born. Yeah, exactly. So I guess at the end of the day, Adrian, it's unlikely that Orange County would see a 20% collapse in a year, but there obviously are things that could bring the home prices down slowly. It's just not an extreme event. Is that kind of a fair wrap?
It is. And just because we're in this and, you know, for information's sake, it's showing that in November 2008 compared to 2007, well, prices fell 18.2% during the Great Recession in Orange County. So 18.2, that's
almost 20.
Yeah, it's almost 20.
Yeah. So we do have a historical precedent, is what I've just learned.
We do. There, it is there. Yep,
it is possible,
and that's off of the some sort of real estate investment housing.
Google it, folks. Just Google it. Orange County Great Recession. It's there for you. Adrian, if they wanted to follow you, they just reach out on Instagram. Adrian Hernandez, correct?
Instagram, guys, at Adrian Hernandez. Appreciate you.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Let's go.